Leaf float.
Make a leaf float.
Okay, how do we make a leaf float? Add keyframe. What exactly do you mean by like make a float? Like make it go up and then like?
That's a really good question. I think what I'm thinking is just to have a view at the top and then have it kind of go like this, and then go like that, and then go like that, and go like that.
So then each. So that we're doing something like each key of it, right?
Yeah. So you could add a keyframe for each of those transformations.
So your first keyframe means to drop it down a certain amount on the translation over to the left or the right.
But wouldn't it have to like kind of do like a? So then it wouldn't be like a direct.
Back up, you're saying like down and up like the gem.
I mean more like it won't go like let's like cut down like that. I think it's gonna go like, you know, like a curve.
First just going like a
Yeah. Not sure how that would look. Did anybody get this part done? Eric?
You might want to increase your width duration to, because you only have 1.2 seconds, and leaf floating pretty long.
My width duration.
You already increased the keyframes with duration in the first one.
So you want a longer animation?
Cool. Do 5. Oh no. Oh no. See how it looks. I know it's not gonna change anything, but just see how the animation would change. Oh. Okay, cool. So, have any ideas, Sam?
So you want it to go side by side and then go down every second. You can change the leading and trailing constraints, maybe. And then bring it down every second. Does that make sense? You have to put them in their own variables.
What do you mean by that?
You have to put the leading and trailing constraints in their own variables to change the constant. I think he has.
I remember we did like a lab that had like it would minus out every time you call it. Those constraints, right? Not very sure.
That work?
I think there's an easier way. And just use translated by.
So we'll put it here.
Or go back to your UI.animate keyframes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many keyframes have you added to that?
1, 2, 3, 3.
Just 3.
Yeah.
For 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take 5 of them, just so that it's 5 and 5. And for each one, do something like take your view and transform it. So my view.transform equals use CGI transform translated by, and then oscillate between like 50 and negative 50 for the exposition, and then have the y for the sheet drop 20, 40, 60, 80. Roughly.
You lost me there.
Can you walk through one example?
Yeah, what was the first one? So, okay, first add frame there. If your start time is going to be 0, your relative duration, let's make that 1 for the relative duration. 1.0. And then self.myView.transform. Awesome. But instead of scale, do translate it by.
Should we commit this out?
Just take it once. So do CGI.
Do what?
Caffeine with the C. CG caffeine transform.
Where?
There's no I, CG.
CG. Oh, DGI.
So CGF means not translated by, or CGF translated by.
Is it like that?
Yeah. Does that work? No, that's working. Take that out. I have mine like kind of at this change right now, so it's a little hard to look at. But open up a brace after. Open up a parenthesis. Not parenthesis. I'm sorry. And now you want translation. Oh, I said translated. Great. Choose that one. And X, let's do 50. And Y is going to be 20. And then make another one. So we'll go down to the next one. The relative start time is going to be 1 second.
Are we doing the same thing for the other one, right?
Yes, we're going to change the numbers a little, but it's the same thing.
Levi, pass it off to someone.
Any volunteers?
Sure. Here, 154.
That's it. That's
duration.
No, you keep going.
You can set the duration at the same time, 1.0. You can set the relative start time. This is where it's so 1.0.
What are you changing?
On line 54, the relative start time. We're going to make it where the first one just ended, so we'll make that 1.0. And then we're going to, on line 55, self.myUF transform equals, instead of rotation angle, we're going to write the same thing, translation x. But since we want it to go the opposite direction, we'll do negative 50. That'll start when we get back the opposite direction on the screen.
Negative 20.
Towards the left, and then we want it to fall further down, so we don't want it to go back up to where it was. So we're going to set it to 20, we'll make it 40. And it'll move another 20 points lower on the screen. Pretty much just continue to do that.
So this is 20, right? And it's going to be duration.
Eric M, what are we doing?
So here.
Start time should be great. Change that to translation.
To be 50.
70.
Liana, last one.
Start time 4. With the 1 second duration. And then translation negative, positive 50, and then I guess 80. But what exactly does translation X do?
Slides up on the x-axis.
Like, a translation is just a moving of a square or dot. So, translation of this, like, let's say this is Mark 5, and then this is the Mark 5. If I translated 5, 5, it moves down here, where X and Y are now 10. Translation is just moving, basically. All right, Albert. I'm very excited for your leaf. Let's see.
Our leaf.
Cool.
Maybe the duration time longer. You know, go like slower.
Yeah.
I wonder, you gotta move everything. Oh, did it get faster because we did 70 instead of like 80 or something?
Yeah, well, it started dropping and then bigger, and then it's smaller. So
Maybe if the duration of each keyframe was longer, it would do more of a loop. You know what I mean?
A loop?
I think it'll just zigzag.
What?
It'll just zigzag.
Zigzag?
It'll be a linear translation.
What if we do
Linear
two?
translation.
2, 2, 2. Ah, shit, I gotta change everything. Fuck.
It's okay.
2, 10.
So,
Then I gotta change this right
was
here.
anyone able to make it like a curved translation?
Six.
Put a link in on a spot that I haven't yet.
Okay. So there's probably a way to make a curved translation. Have you guys seen that in an app before? Never seen it? Okay. We will stop there for today. But I just want to show you something that might come in handy. Thank you, Albert. We will not be getting to this just yet because it's not super important, but there is a built-in object that helps you create an actual path for your animations called a UI Bezier path. It might be called Bezier, I have no idea. You can specify the geometry of your path, and it can be straight and curved lines. There are, if you're really interested in this, there are a million tutorials on how to use Bezier paths. Like, probably something just building on what we made today. But that's if you want to do fun things. The important things we worked on were transform functions, keyframes, and what was the last thing we did this morning? Or I should say the first thing that we did this morning. The flip? What do we use to make that flip? Transition. Transition is just a type of animation. Keyframe animation is just a series of animations. So keep those things in mind. What are some questions? Ian?
Can you like reverse something like the flip pulled like this direction? Could you have it so the flip pulls here, pulls here?
Yeah. This guy. What would you like to reverse?
Like they peel from the bottom right corner to the top left corner.
So instead coming from here and going up?
Or from the top left to the bottom right, or and like other points.
That is a good question. I don't know. I think by default it's treating it like someone, because it has to reverse too many words. It's going from the bottom right as if that's where someone's right hand would be. And usually the way an iPhone is laid out is leading to trailing kind of corresponds to the language that people write in. So that also is how it's going to assume the person's dominant hand works. So just this animation itself assumes you're right-handed flipping up a Post-it note. In terms of like how to reverse that, is a very good question. For people who really like this stuff, there's a framework called Core Animation. No, there we go. Where did it go, Ram? Core Animation. Where did you go? Hold on one sec. Let's go look. Core Animations. Render, compose, and animate visual elements. You can construct all these animations yourself using this framework called Core Animation. I would really love to know where it went, but really important was this layer thing. Remember when we changed the corners of our views? Yes. There's an object called layer that manages the image-based content and allows you to perform animations on that content. If you remember, when I perform these animations that make this thing move, I don't know what it's doing now. My view hasn't changed any of its characteristics. Its layer has them. So what you're seeing visually laid out to you is changed. But the view, which is an instance of UI view, still has the same properties. Weird. So using Core Animation, I bet you can make something very similar. All right. Thanks, everyone.